Meaning of Henry. It means Heim, home, Rick, power, ruler. Became enormously popular in England and was born by 8 kings. Ruler. William. It means element, will, and desire. Helm, protection. William Henry Harrison. Protection of ruler or power. Harris, house ruler. William Henry Harrison. Harris' son. So look, house ruler, but it's name of Harris. Right? Harry. Oh, look, Harrison. Okay, Harrison. House ruler. This is what God showed me. The Statue of Liberty. And it was in a spiritual way. Like I put my dollar in and it didn't work. And it came out with the first coin. Then I put that coin in, right? And it didn't work again. It came out with a second coin. And I was like, I didn't really look at the first coin. I looked at the second coin. I was like, obviously he wants me to look at this coin, like somewhat. You get what I'm saying? And I just noticed the coin. It was William Henry Harrison and the Statue of Liberty. I think something's gonna happen in New York. That's what it's showing me. Yeah, the world is dead. Like no one's doing anything dope. No one does anything out of the normal from what you expect. Like millionaires. If you look at a millionaire, they claim they have Lamborghinis and all this stuff, and they do have Lamborghinis and stuff like that. But it's like, is there any like rich people who are doing non-rich shit, like being regular? Like if I had $1 trillion, personally, I would buy a small apartment somewhere and be just blessed in the neighborhood, be just like a balling ass nigga in the neighborhood. I don't gotta go get a big house and go do this, go do all that. Like no one does anything out of the normal. Like if you have $1 trillion, we expect you to have a private jet. That's not something you just brag about. It's like, yeah, you have $1 trillion. I'm pretty sure they called your house and sold you one. Like I'm pretty sure you didn't go buy one. Someone sold you one. They got your money. You get what I'm saying? The private jet company, they balling because they got your ass to buy a private jet. You know what I'm saying? I'll have $1 trillion and go buy a $1,200 apartment. Like, you know what I'm saying? And just be balling. I'll know all my neighbors. You know what I'm saying? I'll have a lot of people on my side. Won't be a lonely life because I'm not trying to over exaggerate what life is. No one does anything awesome. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's just like all these dudes with one wife and shit. That's rich as hell. Not in a free country. I'm sorry, women. I'm not like a misogynist or extra hornball or something, but there ain't no way in hell I'm gonna have one wife and be rich, be faithful to one woman. Hell no. Why? You're lying, and then you cheat on her. Y'all divorced. That's stupid. Just get like 7. I'm just kidding. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you lying for? Y'all just a bunch of. The world is a bunch of walking dead lying people. Y'all lying. Everybody's lying. Women, we all know why they lying. Makeup, nails, heels, Everyone's lying. There ain't nobody doing anything dope. And I noticed that the whole world, like, all the real shit, all the real people are leaving the world. And the more that the real people leave the world, the crazier it gets. Like, who's somebody that we know that's like a real person, right? Known to be like the real, like Robin Williams. Everyone knows like he's like real, you know what I mean? Keeps it real and shit. He's dead. Kobe Bryant, he's dead. You know what I mean? Bernie Mac, he's dead. XXXTentacion, he's dead. Juice World, he's dead. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't be able to do this pandemic shit with all these type of people in the world. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson, he's dead. Imagine Michael Jackson was here and the pandemic was going on. And he had all that money and shit. What influence would he have on the world during the most controversial situation that we've ever been in? He'll be telling people like, you know what I mean? Nah, these people, you know what I mean? But just like you see the celebrities, you know, they all fake. That's why they going with the agenda, because they fake. We don't got no real people. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's sellouts. And then ones that are not sold out, they're dead. You know? That's why the more real people die, the more dead the world's going to be, because we bring life. We bring light. You know what I'm saying? Smart people, intelligent people, empathic people, you know, non-emulated people. Steve Jobs. What if Steve Jobs was here? They couldn't do this pandemic shit with Steve Jobs on the scene. But he's dead. He was one of the realest people we know. He's gone. You know what I'm saying? They can't do this type of stuff with great influencers and awake people in high places with a lot of money and a lot of status and a lot of influence and do crazy, stupid shit like this. So now we all looking to doctors trying to pop their heads out of their little, you know, their little mini mansions and shit and trying to tell us some truth. And we're like, where the hell y'all been? Y'all should have been out here giving us information about medical stuff. And now there's a pandemic or whatever. Now y'all want to pop y'all heads and nobody, you know what I mean? They're getting shut down. Y'all should have been had 1 million subscribers and this and that and the other just by being a doctor. That's some famous shit right there. That's awesome. You should have been telling us all the little secrets and shit. You know what I'm saying? We glorify the wrong people in life. And the right people that we glorify, they kill them. Martin Luther King, you know. He was the right person for us to glorify. They killed him. Malcolm X, he's the right person to glorify. They killed him. Go back to glorifying Cardi B, people. She's good. She'll be alive for a long time. Follow her. Yeah, follow her. That's what you did. You know what I'm saying? So you had Kobe, who's a real nigga. You know what I mean? He's off the scene. Now who we got? Like, we got Shaq. He gonna say what it takes, and you know, like Dave Chappelle said, you know, Coke and Pepsi pays me. You know, Pepsi paid me most recently, so tastes better. This world's just dead. Really is. Nothing but a bunch of emulated fakes. Everyone wanna be everybody else. Is anybody trying to be their self? Chasing women, you should worry about your health. Women chase the men who do not give them love. Destroy it from the lack of knowledge, that's what's up. We need the Most High, we don't need luck. His return is imminent, could be any second now. The bride's trying on her wedding gown. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, what we got, T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, all y'all following these people talking about prosperity. You guys don't even read the Bible. Like, the stuff that he talks about the Bible like it's good news. Because that's what y'all expect it to be. You get what I'm saying? That's not what the Bible says at all. The Bible talks about segregation. It talks about people who are more special than people. It talks about God bringing his wrath on certain ethnic groups. You get what I'm saying? And exalting other ones. It gives a lot of analogies and parables. It even says that for certain people, they will get it. And to other people, they won't get it. How come they don't preach none of that? If you walk into this church, you're good. You got it. You're ready to go. You're going to get saved. Because you walked into my church. And you paid me money. So guess what? I'm going to tell you you're going to be saved. You ain't going to be saved. A lot of you guys not. Because you didn't come to the knowledge of the truth. You know? Right now I'm going through a whole theory to where it's like, not really a theory, but like a study is Lucifer actually the devil? Because when you read Isaiah 14, right, the way they read it is they take the connotations of English words and put the negative components on there, like when it says fallen, how have you fallen from heaven? That could just simply mean come down. I could say if I was in a two-story house, I fell down the stairs, you know what I mean, walked to my kitchen and got some juice. You guys will, you know what I mean? But that, I actually said it in another language, but it was translated to that. But really, the sentence really says I ran down the stairs very fast, skipped over to the refrigerator and got some juice. But you guys, oh, he must be clumsy. No, fell just mean I went down somewhere, going down. So when it says in the Bible, how are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Who is the son of the morning? You know what I mean? Which is that's Jesus. It says, you have said in thine heart that I will rise above the stars of God. I will be like the Most High. Jesus said, if you see me, then you seen the Father. So he was like the Most High. Who was like the Most High on earth? You get what I'm saying? And it also says in the Bible that it says, and again, when God brought in the first begotten son, he said, let all the angels worship him. So that's how he said, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, because he was better than the other. He said, ye are our gods. And that's why they were going to stone him, right? Because him being a man make himself like God, equal to God. Well, that's what Isaiah just told you, that how art thou fallen, O Lucifer, son of the morning, you said in thy heart, I will be like the Most High. Okay, so you guys put a negative connotation on that because you're like, oh, no one should be like the Most High, but not if you actually are like the Most High, which is Jesus. And Isaiah was written 700 years before Jesus Christ came, so his prophecy was not, he wasn't completely sure why that happened. Isaiah was written already when Jesus was on earth. And when Jesus was on earth, they didn't even know he was going to the cross to die for their sins still. Because even Peter said, far from thee it be, you won't go to the cross and stuff like that, right? And then what did Jesus say? Get behind me, Satan. So if Peter was already aware of Isaiah's prophecy, then he would have known, or just all the Bible prophecy that came before, he would have known that Jesus was going to die for their sins. But they didn't know that. See, they don't take the position of the prophets and what they knew and what they didn't know. They act like the prophets are like completely perfect and completely knew exactly what was going on. No, this is just their testimonies. You have to kind of figure out like, oh, well, Peter didn't know this at the time. That's why he said that. So Isaiah, 700 years before Christ, he didn't know why the sun went down. That's why he said, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? You said in your heart, meaning your intentions were to be above the clouds and be like the Most High. But yet you're down on earth. He says you would be taken down to the pit, which means grave, right? He says you will be brought down to the pit, and then it also says to the sides of the pit, because Jesus was in the grave on the side. His scepter, if you have the good picture of like what Jesus went through when they killed him, they put him in like a you know what I mean, like the scepter, like the grave. You get what I'm saying? They put him in the grave, and he was like on the side, like the bed was right there. When you walk in, you look to the right, he's laying right there. So it says to the sides of the pit, which means when you go look up the word pit, because it is in English, it was translated, it means like a grave, like a tomb, to the side of the pit. It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon you. When you go to Matthew 24 or 25, I think it's 25:34 or 24:34, it says, when he was hung up, one person was crucified on the right of him and one on the left, right? And he had an accusation, this is Jesus, King of the Jews. And the people who seen them walked by wagging their heads, because they narrowly looked upon him. And that's what it says in Isaiah. They shall narrowly look upon you. And it says, you said, I will rise above the heights of the clouds. And Jesus did go above the heights of the clouds. It says that same Jesus that you have seen went up is going to come back down in the same manner. He went above the heights of the clouds. He said, thou should not be joined in burial with them. He wasn't joined in burial with them. They put him in like a hole in the wall by himself. It says thrust through with the sword. When they couldn't break his legs when he was on the cross, one of the soldiers pierced his side with a sword, and water and blood came forth. So everything that Isaiah seen and said about Lucifer is actually talking about Jesus. You know, if they did, and then what happened is, the reason why it says as raiment of those who were slain. Remember Mary Magdalene, if you go read it, and I think in John or Matthew, it says that she had, when he risen, it said that she had thought him to be a gardener, because he put back on his messed up clothes. The clothes with holes in it and stuff where they beat him. He put his clothes back on. That's why he fulfilled Isaiah's prophecy, which is 700 years before Christ, as the raiment of those who are slain. It says, thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch. Who was cast out of the grave like an abominable branch? Jesus. In 3 days, he was cast out of his grave. So Isaiah is seeing this 700 years before Christ arrived. 700. Like, not my generation, not my kids' generation, not my kids' generation, not their 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 kids' generation, their kids' generation. 700 years. So when he's asking these questions, it's like a question. It's a real question. And you know why he said it upon Nebuchadnezzar? Because the Lord God said that all nations shall worship Nebuchadnezzar. And then in Jeremiah, there was a prophet named Hananiah, right? And Hananiah said, oh, the scepter of like Nebuchadnezzar is broken and stuff like that. And later on, Jeremiah tells you, the Lord didn't send you. We're all supposed to worship Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar is a representation of someone who was exalted and fell. And that's Jesus Christ. It's an analogy. It's a proverb. Why do you think every other translation takes off that word proverb? Go look at Isaiah 14. It says taunt. It says analogy. It's a proverb. Proverb is an analogy. But see, not everyone's going to get it. And so it's just stupid for you guys to all just be wasting your time in church, because you guys are wasting your time. It's not for all of you. If you're not you don't understand. You don't get it. You're not thinking in a way that the prophets think. You're not dwelling on these things day in and day out, day in and day out. You just believe in him like, you know what I mean? You don't have no proof. You don't have no unarguable proof. You have like bits and pieces that you expected to align with your morality because it makes sense to you. You don't have like the conclusion of it. You have a conclusion of yourself through it. And it is dumb. It says no prophecy is of private interpretation. So where did in the Bible, because Jesus wouldn't just leave us like that, where in the Bible does it say Lucifer is the devil? It doesn't specifically say Lucifer is Jesus, but when we look at King of Babylon, Jesus, the Lord God, set all the nations under King of Babylon, which is a proverb, meaning an analogy. Who else is set above all the other nations or above all the other stars? Jesus is the only begotten son, and he said you guys are all gods. So if you guys are all gods and he's the son of God, the only begotten son of God, that means you guys are all stars and he's the sun that exalts itself above the stars. At nighttime the stars come out, yes, because the sun has went down. When the sun goes down, it does weaken the nations. When the sun goes down, you guys all go to sleep because it has weakened the nation. Because it's nighttime. The life is, that's why you guys drink and smoke and all that stuff, to make yourselves have more energy throughout the nighttime and make stupid decisions because you're all sleepy and drunk and just want to have fun. You get what I'm saying? but without coffee, without alcohol, without, try to just stay up all night and go to the club without no drinks or nothing. You're gonna fall asleep in there. You're gonna be like, man, there ain't no sun outside. Give me another drink so I can stay awake. Partially, the reason why people drink is to stay awake. It gives you energy. Not only the fact that you're getting drunk and having fun and getting loose, you know what I'm saying? But you're also getting energy from it. People don't think. You know what I mean? I have more prophecy than anybody, like literal prophecy. When I say prophecy, I don't mean like reading the scriptures and think I understand it. I mean like I have proof of things. Like, I don't even know how to explain proof to you guys anymore. You guys, there's so many people on YouTube who just claim a bunch of shit. It might be someone on YouTube who claimed to be a prophet and took like bullets out of a gun. I think I've seen that before. I got shot with and so what? What does that have to do with God, bro? Like, you guys are just entertained. That's what you guys are. Entertained, bro. You guys looking for entertainment. You guys have no idea. You know how many nations are just like, how many of you guys just not going to make it? Just not going to make it there. You have to be grafted in. You have to come to the knowledge of the truth. We can't be disagreeing with people. And like everybody want to argue and shit. You get what I'm saying? You have to be able to argue in the way of, like, you guys call it open-minded, but I say like being scientifically convinced. You know what I'm saying? You can't go on a belief system. You have to go on a what can you prove system. And the Bible is like your standard of proof. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand it first. So now you got the Jews who say that they were Jews, like but are the synagogue of Satan. So now you guys following fake Jews. Not only that, you're putting down the real Jews. I won't say only black people, but probably mostly black people. Or melanated people. You're following the wrong Jews. Then you follow entertainment about biblical issues. Because, this is serious, guys. Like, Jesus, if you're on the case of the Bible, you're on a murder case. They murdered Jesus. So you're on a murder case. This is not for you to be thinking of your feelings and stuff. We need facts. We need you to convince the judge of who murdered this person. You get what I'm saying? This is a murder case. And that's how you have to take it. You have to take it like, it's a murder case that we're trying to solve here. You have to read the Bible. You have to get the clues. You have to understand, okay, this is an analogy. Okay, what's the analogy of the Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon? Well, he was exalted above all the nations. Many prophets of Judah came and told him that the Lord has said he has given it to who he finds, it says who he found fit, basically. Who he found, I forgot the exact name, but basically who he thought was the best. And that any nation that doesn't worship Nebuchadnezzar shall be destroyed. And so that's why he took that analogy unto proverb. Where does Lucifer say he was Satan? Because later on in the prophecy it says, I will break the Assyrian in my land. Why doesn't nobody ever say that? That he says he's talking about the Assyrian, the Islamic culture, the Muslims, the Assyrians. In my opinion, that he's in these times right now, he's talking about like Barack Obama. He will break the Assyrian. And the Assyrian happens to be number 804, which is Barack Obama's actual birthday. So, I don't know. You guys are just all stupid. You guys need real leaders. People who really care. People who really out here. You know what I mean? Like, authentic, bro. Like I was saying in the beginning, that's the key word, authentic. Who's authentic? We always finding out all these people you guys love are not authentic. Like now we got R. Kelly. He's, I'm not going to judge him, but like He's not authentic. He ain't got no game. I would have had some women. If you want multiple women, treat them right, do them right according to the scripture. You get what I'm saying? Make sure they're equal. Make sure you're not abusing them. Do your thing. But they're on a whole nother. They're evil. And Lucifer, it says in Lucifer, the seed of the evildoer should never be renowned. He wasn't talking about Lucifer himself. He wasn't talking about the king of Babylon or Babylonians. Because he kept saying them. They shall look upon you. He never says you, Lucifer. I will do this to you, Lucifer. Therefore, Lucifer, he might say therefore. You know, that's what God likes to say. Therefore, since you did this, therefore. You get what I'm saying? He never says that. He just talks about them and you. It's a one-way communication with King of Babylon talking analogy unto Lucifer, God, Jesus. And maybe in my opinion, it was for Jesus to read it and understand what he was going to do. And this is how he understood that he was going to go to the cross. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon you, which they did while he was on the cross. Thrust through with a sword. Brought to the side of the pit, the side of the tomb. Laying down. When you walk in, he's laying down right there to the side. You should be brought down to the grave. To the sides of the pit. To the sides of the tomb. Right there. You walk in, he's to the side brought down to the grave. Okay, open the grave. Where is he? Left, right, up, down. To the sides of the pit. He's right there laying down. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon you. It says that they walked by when he had King of the Jews on his head. They walked by wagging their heads. That's narrowly look upon them. This is Isaiah saying it from like another perspective. A person who doesn't know everything. It's just his perspective of what's going on. So, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, dude, you know what I mean? You flew up, up to the second window. You get what I'm saying? But what really happened is he was on the escalator. But it's true, but it just, from my perspective, it looked like you flew up. You know what I'm saying? He's on a clear escalator. So my perspective as Isaiah, I'm like, you flew up to the second floor like you were standing on freaking air. In reality, it's a clear escalator. You know what I'm saying? You guys don't know how to think. People don't know how to think. So, man, there's a lot of stuff that God shows me. Even like, look, my name tag. God showed me right here. So let me see if you can see it. Or like my name tag in the back. It says, see if we can get that. 222. You see that? It says 19, then it says 222. Look up what 222 in the Bible means. These signs will accompany those who believe in my name.